Yes, we also continue to pray for Pope Francis, and we need to pray a lot because the judgment of God is very severe. Is very severe, to be very honest. God is a just judge. God is a strict judge. And He judges all our thoughts, our words, our intentions. He evaluates what we have done, all our actions, all our decisions. They are all known to Him, and we are to render an account of all of them. Even for the ordinary man, it is not an easy task because we as human beings are weak. We are prone to a lot of faults and sins and vices. So it's a fearful judgment even for an ordinary man when he dies. Now we are talking about a pope, a man who held a supreme office in the church as pastor and shepherd, the vicar of Christ. This is a heavy responsibility, and Scripture says, "To whom much is given, much will be expected in return." So the judgment of a pope will be a very severe one and strict one. It is higher than the judgment of a parishioner, a priest, even a bishop. So we have to pray because the Pope will have to account for all that he did, the decisions he took, his words, his thoughts, his intentions, his actions. You know, we could ask the question, has anybody been led astray through what the leader of the church did or said or failed to do or failed to say? So all those things will be judged by God. Has any soul been lost because of his actions or inactions or omissions? The salvation of souls. Christ came to save souls. The Son of Man came to save souls. And if anyone should destroy the souls the Son of Man had come to save, definitely he will prepare for an account before him. So it's not an easy one. No modern times is characterized by secularism, by wickedness, by sins of all sorts, sins of the flesh. People commit sins of the flesh boldly in the public. Homosexuality is on the rampage, it's increasing day by day, it's gaining more grounds. Many things, evil things that are too numerous to mention. So how has the Vicar of Christ been able to deal with these things? Has he been able to reduce them at least? Has he been able to eradicate them in the church and in the world? Has he been able to give a strong statement against these types of developments in the lives of people, these kinds of practices? So these are the things that you'll be judged based upon. Has he been able to, what did he do? Even if he's not promoting them, promoting it, but at least if he fails to do nothing, he's also guilty. That's a sin also. That's what business of omission. Even if you are not part of it, but if you fail to do something to solve the problem when you could have done so, then you also make yourself guilty. So these are the things. So it's not an easy thing to judge. We should not just assume that a pope who dies has gone to heaven just like that, as is being done today. No. We shouldn't assume that he has gone to hell either. But we only pray and hope and believe that at least purgatory and then waiting for purification. But we must pray because this is just a guess. We are not certain. Because we are not the one to judge him. We are not certain. So only God knows. But from the way of life, the kind of life the Pope has led, and the kind of things he has done, how his ministry went, can either lead us to hope for his salvation or to fear for his salvation. So it can be either way, to hope for his salvation or to fear for his salvation. But ultimately, all things is in the hands of God. So we pray and pray for Francis that God will rest his soul and forgive him his sins. Of course, he's a sinner too. He's not a saint. None of us is a saint either. So we are praying that God will forgive him his sins, whatever he has faltered as a pope, wherever he has failed as a pope, things he failed to do, that God will have mercy and grant him a merciful mild judgment, and that he will receive his soul into Abraham's bosom. That is our prayer. I also pray for the church in this moment of interregnum, that the next conclave will select a good pope for us. We need a good pope. Although most of the time we get the kinds of popes that we deserve because of our sins, our iniquities,